Hey there, welcome back to Ask Amy. I have a question today from Lucia. She says, "Hi Amy, I was wondering if we are the spiritual energy, then who is it or what is it that actually holds on to certain thoughts and beliefs that cause our perpetual suffering?" She says, "As always, I'm beyond grateful for the content you put out. Your recent writing about it not being my life, but rather life living itself, brought pure joy and happiness. Sadly, though, they passed away again too quickly." Love, Lucia. So, just a note on that last little piece. I love that you were impacted by seeing that it's not a me. This ties into your question perfectly. It's not that there's a me to whom life is happening. There's not a me having a life. Me is life, and life is me. So there's just life, lifing, and appearing as everything. One energy. I call it energy. It's not a great word for it, maybe, but one essence, one energy, just life, just oneness, appearing and showing up as everything, including a Lucia. And from that vantage point, though, where it's like, no, I'm a separate me and life is out here and it's happening to me. Oh, it's so hard there. Everything matters, and it really matters how you feel, and we feel very fragile. But as we see that it's really all just one, and that one life manifests as a Lucia and as an Amy and as different people, but that's just the costume it takes on. There's really life at the end of the day, the same life in everything, the boundaries and the borders and the differences and the separation and all the seriousness gets to fade a little bit. We feel into this bigger oneness, this one shared essence that is everything. So the fact that you felt that or read that and felt some joy and happiness, that's beautiful. That was the boundaries that your mind has created melting a little bit. And then we feel connected and we feel happy. And then you say they passed away too quickly. Well, feelings pass. That's the design. Always. Feelings are always changing. They're meant to. But again, when we don't need them, when we don't need to hold on to joy or happiness, when life is just incredibly fluid, it doesn't matter at all that it passed, because there's more coming, and none of it means anything. None of it is clung to for our survival. So that's just your little side note, I know, but let me address your main question. You say, if we are the spiritual energy, that one energy, then who or what is it that actually holds on to certain thoughts and beliefs? Well, there is no other who or what. And so that's why it's confusing, of course, understandably, totally confusing. When this one stream of life gets chopped up into, there's a me, and then there's some other entity that holds on to thoughts and feelings, and then there's some other entity over here, and then there's people over here and things over there. You just feel that. And all of that chopping, it's simply what a mind does. So our mind is all about complexity. Thought is all about variety and complexity. And a brain, literally just a brain, it's just a function of a brain. It's nothing more true or meaningful than that. The function of a brain is to actually see separation where there isn't any, to actually perceive separate and a you, and if there's this entity, there must be that entity. That's what a brain does as it's chopping up all the stuff in the world, all that we're taking in, and telling a story about it. Putting it on this timeline and revolving it all around Lucia in your case, and revolving it all around me in my case, and everyone in everyone else's case. So it gets complicated and confusing only when our mind is chopping it all up into separate entities and everything's different and separate, and we believe that. So we are the spiritual energy, and so is everything else. And this experience of thought being held on to and suffering, that's the spiritual energy too, because there's no other option. There is no other thing. There's no two, there's no multiple. Really, there's just this one energy of life appearing as everything else. So another way to look at that is there's this brain mind thing, that, like I'm saying, chops up experience, and the brain in particular, it has as its function protection, to protect this body, your brain to protect your body. Again, the function of a brain is everything looks and feels separate. So there's all this protective stuff happening. Oh, hold on to this. I better hold on to that. I hope I get more of this feeling and less of that feeling so that this character over here can be okay. So Lucia can be okay. So Amy can be okay. That is all just how a brain works. It's just how a brain talks. When that's all we see and all we know, then we have the experience that most humans have, where life is difficult. It's really good or it's really bad. And if it's really good, it might be really bad later. So be careful. It's feelings matter. I don't want my joy to pass too quickly because it might not come back. It's graspy, it's clingy, right? That is just simply what life looks like when a brain is spitting it out. That isn't going to go away completely, most likely. But we get to see that that's just what a brain does. There is no other entity holding on to thoughts. It's like, that's life too. That's this beautiful, loving essence, all of life. It's all the same. It shows up as suffering. And it shows up as a brain trying to protect us. And it shows up as oneness. And it shows up as bliss. And it shows up as joy. It shows up as all of that. It's the same thing because there's only ever one thing. There just is not all that separation. That same energy shows up as a you and as a me and as all these other separate people. That's how it looks to us. But we get to see the full picture of this. We get to see, wow, yes, a brain chops things up and creates separation, and all kinds of implications come with that. And that is only what a brain does. That is only the function of a brain. Really, this is all one essence. All brains are the same. All people are the same. All life is the same. It's made of the same. It's just playing dress up. It's playing dress up, and it's showing up in different temporary form as part of the show that we get to live in, part of this play that we get to be part of. And it's really all the same. And it's just the coolest thing in the world to see that we get both. We get to live in the variety. We get to feel like a separate me and have those ups and downs. And we also can see that it's a show. It is a dream playing out. It is not the truth, the ultimate truth of things whatsoever. So Lucia, we are the spiritual energy, and we are the clinging, and we are the suffering, and we are the joy, and we are the relief when the suffering gets released. And all of that drama is just part of the dream. It's just part of a show that a brain puts on for us. And seeing that can allow us to enjoy it much more, take it much less seriously. So I hope this is helpful. Thank you so much for sending your question. I'm so glad that this work resonates, and please send any more questions you have. And that goes for all of you, any of you. Send any questions you have about anything at all, specific habits, anxiety, ways that we suffer, to the big, huge questions like this one. I love them all. So I will be back here next Monday. Send your questions to askamy@thelittleschoolofbigchange.com. Have a great week. Bye, everyone.